Y'all, guess what? Turns out when you don't work, you don't have any money. Isn't that crazy? Hey y'all, it's Chimdi. So, do y'all send voice notes on WhatsApp? If you do, every now and again something will happen where you will be sending a voice note. Okay, so I send voice notes for like 30, 40 minutes, right? And so I'll be sending a voice note and then something will happen and I'll like accidentally delete it or it'll get deleted. And then you just spent the last 30 minutes talking, sharing what you believe to be true gold, only to have it, boop, throw itself in the trash. That is what just happened. I just spent the last literally 28 minutes talking to y'all, telling y'all my business. Like, this is on me, literally. So I've got a mic here. You have to switch it to on. I didn't switch it to on, it was off. My actual camera will record passable audio, but not if an external mic is plugged in. So that is all gone. And so I'm gonna share what I shared in that video. But listen, I'm not mad about it, okay? Because it's gonna give me a chance to say my thoughts, hopefully more cogently. We love an SAT word. And I can already feel the way my energy is higher right now than it was in the beginning of that video. And so it's all, everything happens exactly how it's supposed to happen. It's all good. Anyway, in this video, we're actually gonna do it podcast style, video podcast style, which is my way of saying I don't want to edit it, y'all. I don't want to edit it, okay? I don't want to sit here for 18 hours and edit it. I don't want to. And listen, I know I said in that other video how much I love editing, and I do love editing. It's so fun. It's so great. I don't want to do it right now, okay? And I just think it is my right, and I know it's my right, to just put out content on the internet with no efforts. Can I be one of those YouTubers? All I want in this world, and I said it before and I'm saying it again, all I want in this world is to be one of those YouTubers who can just hop on here and just talk for 45 minutes and y'all are just like, yes, queen, give us 3 hours next time. Like, that's literally all I want, okay? And so I have to keep trying to make it happen. I gotta follow my dreams, okay? So in this episode of this video podcast, let me know if y'all are messing with it and we can decide if we're gonna keep these up. I just wanna talk free form about like some of the things that have been going on in my life lately that could be their own YouTube video, but I don't know if there's enough juice there to make it a full 12 to 15 minute video. And so I just wanna chat about it here. Also, cause it's like on my spurt. And so that's what this video is gonna be about. Just like us chatting like friends, you know, y'all think we friends, and you know what? We are friends, okay? Who says we can't be friends just because we on the internet and it's mostly me talking and you listening? Like, why can't we have a one-way friendship? Is this satisfying for you all? That's the question, because so many of y'all are like, you my friend. You my best friend on the internet. And I'm just like, I love that for me because it means you really like me, but is that good for you? Because a friendship is two ways. Like, I should be holding space for you, and as you are going through things, I'm able to like hold that space and give you that support and love. Like, that is what you deserve in a friend. So if you feel like you are getting that from these videos just because we are like on similar journeys and like when you leave comments, I'm like right there with you, that's enough, that's good. But just like, you know, that whole thing about parasocial relationships and stuff, like, I want y'all to feel good. I don't want y'all to feel taken advantage of as a result of being a part of my sexy ass community, you know? Also, we don't have a name for us yet. We gotta work on that, and that's on y'all. That's on y'all, okay? I create a lot of the content. Here's how it works. I come up with the ideas and I create the content, and then I edit the content up and I upload it, and then y'all leave me comments and you give me suggestions for more content. That is the nature of our relationship, and I feel like we can talk about this in the comments if you want. I think I arguably do about 80% of the work in this relationship. So even though I just said it's parasocial and it's one way, actually I'm realizing I do a lot of the labor in this relationship. So this is on y'all to come up with a name for our community, okay? I can't do everything. I can't do everything, guys. Okay. So if you're still watching, love that for you and for me, because it means you really enjoy this situation. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe. We're at 12K, it's feeling good. And yeah, let's just get into the video, which is truly just gonna be more of this, me like very animatedly yelling / talking / cackling in your direction. Okay, the first thing I wanna talk about that I thought could make it be a full video, but I'm not sure, is about the fact that I am running low on savings. So I hit 5K in savings. I just bought a bunch of stuff for my travels to Europe next month. And I think it's very important to show that, like, yes, Most of my life is vibes, it is naps, it is weeping on the couch while eating a tuna sandwich. That truly happened last week. It felt very sad. But some of the stuff that involves quitting your job is doing stuff like taking sexy ass trips to Europe and living your best life on your own terms, right? So I wanna balance that out, you know. And I do have that video where I'm just straight up in Costa Rica in my little hot ass bathing suit, you know, living my best life. So I'll give y'all snippets of that, but I think it's important to show like truly there is a lot of freedom, and it's doing stuff like, cause I'm planning the trip with my friends and I was like, I'm just gonna like spend the whole month in Barcelona, and I'm realizing like, yeah, they can't do stuff like that, girl. They have to ask their managers for permission, and 2 weeks is like a lot of vacation, and it could literally be their entire vacation for the year. You can literally go to Europe whenever you want. Like that's awesome. Like that's really dope. I'm genuinely very blessed. Very excited to give y'all all that Europe content. So I'm buying all my stuff for it, and you know, flights are expensive and Airbnbs are expensive. Also, you can go to Delta Airbnb and you can use every dollar you spend on Airbnb to become Delta miles. So wish I had known that. And I actually did know that. I was just being lazy. But now you know that. So if you fly with Delta and you use Airbnb, take advantage of that tip and get yourself some free miles or whatever. So I hit 5K, and 5K for me was always like, girl, you at 5K. You need to be, where's this money coming from? Like I wanted to never go below 5K in savings. Like I wanna have 5K be the floor, and then I just keep making money, right? And I offset my expenses with money. I think I can still make it happen. My plan is to just get more sponsors basically and make it happen that way. Seeing that number, it is, I mean, I love to say that the Lord is paying my bills, and you know, I truly believe he is. And you know, there are the realities of, you know, going on these trips. What, am I not gonna go on trips? What is the point of being alive if I can't go to Europe when I want to? Also, I was talking to this guy truly for a week and a half, and he mentioned how Europe is truly like the birthplace of like colonialism, and like the birthplace of racism, and like the birthplace of, and I was just like, like I was like, oh, should I be excited about going to Europe? Literally the birthplace of all some of the worst things in our modern society. But I'm gonna still go and have a good time, but now I'm just gonna be thinking about that while I'm there, you know? Like I should be planning my Africa trip, you know? See the motherland. But yeah, so when I hit that 5K, the first thing I thought, and literally this is what happens when you create content, the first thing I thought was like, content. Like I can turn this into a clickbaity style video that's like, I'm running low on savings and I'm scared. Because part of me really thinks that, and I could be wrong, and I think the majority of people are following my journey because they are like, this is the life I want to be living, she's an inspiration, she's doing it, that means I can do it. But I think there are certain people, and I think the people who are following also have doubts that's like, but can you do it? Because I really feel like bills have to get paid every month. So how does that work? So I feel like there are people who like want to see a video that's just like, y'all, guess what? Turns out when you don't work, you don't have any money. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild? I just found out at 30 that you need to earn an income to buy things that you want. Shit don't just drop from the sky. But truly, like manna from heaven, I do believe that things drop from the sky, okay? So I couldn't make that video in good conscience because I genuinely believe that I am completely provided for. Like completely. And I genuinely don't think my savings are gonna run all the way out. And I think even if they did, it would just prove another way for God to show up in my life and be like, damn, look at this shit. And I'm like, wow. And he's like, yup. And I'm like, whoa, you're the best. And he's like, I know. So like, I really could not make that video in good conscience. So that's why I've got to just put it in this podcast video situation. So that's one thing I want to talk about. The other thing I want to talk about is actually my spiritual journey, of course, and specifically the way I have decided to not do the timeless wisdom training that I've talked about in previous videos. So this is like a 2-year, really intense program led by Thomas Hupel, who truly was my introduction. I don't know if introduction is the right word, but like finding out about Thomas and the way he approached healing and trauma and like being a mystic, so it's not about like any particular religion, but just like the core truths of all religion, all that stuff. Like that is what got me to fully commit to a healing journey. Because truly, I was not committed. I was like, we don't actually have to heal. Like you can't make me heal. You can't make me heal. I can live my entire life damaged and traumatized and hurting people and spreading it on to my children.
If I wanted to, you can't make me do nothing.
But then the more I learned how it really is good for you. And I'm committed now, right? But like, he is the reason that I was able to fully commit. Applying for the timeless wisdom training is what got me to stop drinking and doing drugs. I feel like doing drugs sounds so intense when truly it was just like smoking weed and like having an occasional shroom. But like, I didn't see anything wrong with it. And I still don't think it's something to be like denigrated, you know? Like, if that's what you want to do your thing, you know what I'm saying? It's fun, like truly have a great time. But for me, I always felt in my spirit, like a big part of my journey is I don't want to need external things to make myself happy. I think that's weakness if you are relying on something external from you to make you feel good, because I do believe that we have everything we need in our spirit. So the fact that there were times where I would turn to weed because I couldn't deal with what was happening in my life, I was like, for me, that was a sign of weakness, and I'm about eliminating all weakness and being completely powerful. And so that was always on my spirit, you know? And so having just that interview with the woman from the training, and she explained like, you're letting a lot of light in, and so much of that stuff can often be used to numb the realities of your life that the light is meant to heal, essentially. It just made such sense to me. And literally the actual training wouldn't have started until February, and I stopped literally that call. I don't think I had another drink, and I don't think I had another smoke after that call. And I gave away all my gummies. I have a little cap of shrooms that I'm gonna give away to someone else. And I think that's basically it for me, because when something makes sense for you, you don't need to wait to do it. It just makes sense, you know? So I think that was the point of like coming into the Thomas community, was like becoming fully committed to the journey and like getting the understanding that I needed to like fully kind of break away from the substances that were keeping me from really being committed and like actually like doing what I wanted to do for myself, you know? And another part of the reason that I decided to not do the training is because I'm realizing that there are so many people who are in this spiritual space who each have their own unique take that is each really interesting and really valuable. And I just wanna like shout out all of you who have been leaving recommendations. So I gotta get my handouts because I wanna start listing stuff. One, y'all recommended to me Mickey, because we friends now, Mickey Singer, who wrote Untethered Soul. He's got a podcast that Moni, that you recommended. Girl, holy shit, girl, woo, okay. Someone recommended to me Swan Teal, and I love her whole vibe. She's like a sexy robot who's here to teach you about spirituality, and she's hilarious. Love her. Christina, I think it's Christina Lopez. She's the one who has like the shaved head, you know, and she just teaches you like how to become psychic and what like twin flames are. Loving that stuff. My dear friend sent me, I should have gotten her name before re-recording, but I think she's known as Pastor Bae. She's this like dope ass black woman who like is talking about the same stuff, but like from like, it literally feels like she would be a cousin talking to me about this stuff. Like, she's super dope. So like all these amazing people are talking about the same kind of similar spiritual concepts in their own way with their own approach, and it's so freaking interesting. And when I first started the spiritual journey, like one of the things that really attracted me to Thomas People was like, he clearly is an authority in the space. I really resonate with the way he shows up, and that like peace and that rootedness and that groundedness and that like open-heartedness. And I feel like his whole thing is so straightforward. It literally is just like, feel your feelings, like honor what's happening in your body and let yourself feel them. Like, that's literally the whole ish. And I love that. I love how simple that is, you know? And I feel like I still had the mindset of like spirituality being something to achieve, like awakening being something to achieve. And I thought like, oh, with a 2-year program, it'll be like getting a graduate degree and being spiritual. And then I will have achieved that, right? Check. And I realized like, I really do enjoy the process of hearing from all these different people, and it genuinely is a lifelong process, and that's what makes it dope. Like, it's cool that I'm never gonna learn everything and know everything and hear every understanding and every perspective. That's what makes it fascinating, you know? Like, it's like creating content. Like, I am gonna always get better. I will never be a I do believe I will be a master creator, to be clear, but there will always be more for me to learn. And to me, that's the stuff that I love digging into, is the stuff that never ends, the infinite stuff, because I'm infinite. I'm a child of God. I'm the child of the creator, of the infinite creator. Like, infinity is so sexy to me, you know? And so I'm just like so excited about this next phase. I feel like the first phase of my spiritual journey was just the first stage was suffering, and then I was like, ooh, I don't like this. And then the next stage was like, all right, let me actually try to fix it. but do I really want to fix it? And then I feel like now I'm in the stage of like, not only am I committed to fixing it, I am genuinely excited about all the healing that's happening. And people left me, oh my gosh, that video I made about like not wanting to heal no more, people left me so many comments that were like, girl, it's gonna get better, you gotta get through it, you're purging, like get this out of your system. And I knew that, but you know, when you're in it, you in it. But now I'm on the other side of that, and like the weeping, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna weep, you know, and I'm gonna be on a video chat with you. Yeah, I had a major breakthrough where I cried in front of a man recently. A man. Do we trust those people? Nah, I'm just kidding. Y'all are great. But you know what I mean? Like that is such a sign of my own health that I am able to be more and more vulnerable. Like even putting on a video where I say in the thumbnail that vulnerability is your friend. I promise. Like if you had told me a year ago, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Get the fuck out of my face. You want me to weep? Get out. No, thank you. No, thank you. And honestly, I say a year and I really mean like 3 months. Arguably, I mean 4 videos ago when I made that video. I was not interested. And now I'm like, I'm converted. I'm a full convert to the gospel of feeling your feelings, of being honest about your truth, about living into it. And it's a really good place to be, I must say. Okay, how are we doing on time? Okay, we're doing pretty good on time. I think I'm gonna leave it there because this is getting a little long and I could talk for another 15 minutes, but I wanna hear from you all. How are you feeling about these styles of videos where I'm not doing a ton of B-roll, I'm not doing a ton of editing, I'm just like very excitedly talking to you about the updates from my day. You know, we talk about friendship on here and that is really how I am with my friends. I literally just like dump stuff and they're like, yeah! And then they send me a voice note back, you know? So I feel like to the extent you have capacity, I feel like these are the kinds of videos where in the comments, like get into it with me. Like let's really get into it in the comments and have a conversation, because I do want it to be, you know, I don't want it to be a one-sided thing where I just like, you know, share all my stuff and y'all are just like, you're great. And then, you know, I'm not providing that, I'm not holding that same space for you all. Then actually on that note, so as y'all know, I offer if you know, I have offered creative coaching in the past, but I realized like, that's not quite what I wanna do. Like that's not quite it, but like what I really wanna do and what I really love doing, and what I found from the people who sign up for my strategy calls is that they don't even really need creative coaching. They really just need me to hold space for them as they process something that's going on in their life that might be sometimes tied to something in their creativity, something around quitting their job. Like it's not really about having a consistent like 2-month, 3-month coaching program. So what I wanna do is like shift it towards like a call where you just like literally can call me up and I just hold space for you and then you pay me money. So let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that, and let me know if these kinds of videos are interesting for you. Obviously, like I said, all I want to do is be a YouTuber who doesn't have to edit, though I love it. Thank you, Adobe. Y'all are the best. I appreciate it. You know, keep giving me resources to make YouTube videos. But you know, it can be a lot. It can be a lot sometimes. All right, that is the video, y'all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for making it this far. At the end of my other video where I'd spoken for 28 minutes, I asked you all to subscribe. And I was like, wait, is there someone who watched all 28 minutes who hasn't subscribed, and how that would be, you would truly be a real one? But I thought this one is a little bit shorter. So maybe you haven't subscribed yet. If you haven't, as you see, you are willing to watch me talk for this long. So I think you like me. So just cement that by hitting that subscribe button. Oh my gosh, y'all. Literally, that video I made about how I hate healing trauma, people unsubscribed. They were just like, get this out of here. Take your negativity and get the fuck out of here. And I was like, damn, I was being honest. I was showing my journey. People were like, no, thank you. Unsubscribe. I was like, damn. But, you know, the people who are supposed to be in your life are going to be in your life. The ones who aren't, they won't. You just got to be happy about it. All right. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.